And I thought about a learning journey in terms of nature and stuff like that. These are the kind of ecosystems I thought about. I've spent a good part of my scientific career studying an invasive plant in these ecosystems, purple loosestrife. And purple loosestrife is the kind of plant that would come in and take out stuff like this typha you see here and replace it. And it stands 2 meters tall, and it makes it impossible for the normal ecosystem to exist. So for me, the learning journal begins in how do I teach students about these beautiful lands. And I figured coming out here to Wascana Lake during a Saskatchewan sunset, which is usually a fairly impressive event, would be a good backdrop for this experience. Projects Wet and Wild that we worked on last Sunday, I think, are a perfect example of how to get students engaged. We talk about being worried about whether or not students are going to become engaged with the material that you're presenting, and I think Wet and Wild are a good way to do that. They're activity filled, as we experienced, and they're very, very detailed in their coverage of certain things. And Project Wet, dealing with wetland environments such as this, involve a series of activities that relate to these types of things. And I think being able to bring kids out here and perhaps performing those activities well in this environment would be the way to do it. Including Project Wild, there's ducks and geese on the lake. I saw a muskrat a little bit earlier. There's beavers around here, I know, or have been, at least in the past, and there's a lot to see here. Even if you don't see anything directly, there's an awful lot of evidence to look at suggesting that animals have spent time here, including a nice little stump over here that has clearly been chewed off by a beaver at some point in the past, so that's pretty cool. And if you can integrate those kind of experiences with the experience of being just out in nature, you can be pretty out in nature in Regina. This is proof of that. And there's no reason to have to carry out these activities in a classroom. And sometimes it's nice for students to get out of the classroom. Maybe it comes down to that whole idea of disruption again. If you can disrupt a typical classroom by coming out and learning in a setting like this, why wouldn't you? In terms of your concern about whether or not we as teachers would use all of the activities in Project Wet and Wild, or if we would just use the ones that we had experience with, I'm not sure that that's a necessary fear, to be honest. There's so many good things in that resource that I think it would be a mistake not to use them, and so I certainly intend to. Yeah, there'll probably be more on this once I get back to my room. It's getting a little chilly out here.